What is up, YouTube? It is the Real Hayden here. We're here to review night one and night two of WrestleMania 42. Just finished watching this show, and I gotta say, I think that this show was much better than WrestleMania 41 for sure. Like last year in WrestleMania, I just remember struggling to get through that show. I just thought the matches were boring. Now, a lot of people said that the matches this year were too short. I agree, some of them were very short, but I'd rather matches be too short and leave you wanting more than to be way too fucking long. You feel me? So this card had a total of 13 matches on it. Night two had 6 matches. Night one had 7 matches. But night two honestly felt longer. I don't know really, but I will say I enjoyed this WrestleMania. I'd probably give this WrestleMania. I'm floating somewhere between a 7 and an 8 out of 10. Last year's WrestleMania, I think I gave like a 4 out of 10 or something, maybe a 5. I don't remember what I gave it, but much better than last year's WrestleMania for sure. I enjoyed it. There was some things I did not like. Obviously, a lot of people did not like this WrestleMania. I disagree. It seems like whenever I like a show, most people hate the show, but whenever I hate the show, people like the show. So I have no idea why that is the case, but that seems to be the case. So yeah, let's get into the matches. On night one you had the Usos, which is Jimmy and Jey Uso, obviously, and LA Knight versus I Show Speed, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul, the Vision. Um, I don't really like these celebrities getting involved and stuff like that. But whatever, I mean, it was kind of entertaining. I didn't like that Theory took the pin. I think Speed should have taken the pin, but this is where we're at in wrestling. Triple H doesn't like Theory, you know what I mean? But it was a fun match. LA Knight is really fucking over. Like he came out even with this dead ass crowd and he still got a pop. So that's how you know LA Knight is over. But it was a fun match. Speed, I'm pretty sure he turned on Logan Paul at the end, yeah, and jumped through the announce table. But it was a fun match. Austin Theory took the pin. I think LA Knight pinned Austin Theory. But LA Knight, man, he is over. Why have y'all not done nothing with him yet? That guy, he is over, man. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty fun match. Pretty fun way to open up the show. Match number two, we had Jacob Fatu defeating Drew McIntyre by pinfall. It was an unsanctioned match. It was a pretty good match. Not really as extreme as I wanted it to be, but it was still pretty good. I didn't, I wanted Drew to win, but I predicted Fatu to win. He was really acting like Umaga when he came out there. Like he was doing his facial expressions and stuff. Like you're just really acting like Umaga. Like, come on, have your own character a little bit. Not the biggest Jacob Fatu fan, but he's all right. He's better than a lot of the roster, I will say. But he won through. He had a moonsault through a table and got the pinfall. A lot of people thought there was going to be more of an extreme finish, but that wasn't really the case. But Jacob Fatu wins, and he'll probably be sniffing around a world title picture now. Next match, we had the Fatal 4-Way Women's match. It was Charlotte and Alexa Bliss versus the Irresistible Forces, Nia Jax and Lash Legend. It was them two. And then it was Brie Bella and Paige made her return to WWE. First time. It was her first match since 2017 in WWE when Sasha Banks injured her. She caused like a whiplash or whatever it was when she kicked her in the back. And who else was in the match? I know it was Charlotte and Alexa. Am I forgetting somebody? Oh yeah, it was Lyra Valkyria and Bailey. A lot of people feel like Bailey's being done wrong. I'm not the biggest Bailey fan. Never have really been. But Paige wins Rampage to Alexa Bliss. They've really been making Alexa Bliss take the pin a lot. I don't think she should have taken it. I think they could have easily had someone else take the pin, but it is what it is. Alexa Bliss has been playing this weird shit since like 2020, 2021. When she got with Bray Wyatt, she really needs to go back to her roots like she was in like 2016, 2017. You feel me? But Paige won. It's going to be interesting to see her back. It's crazy how she returned and she's still like one of the youngest on the roster, yet she debuted way before all of the other ones. You know what I mean? But I think a lot of people are excited to see Paige back because it injects some life into the women's division. But a lot of people are going to see that Paige was never really that good in the ring to begin with. I mean, better. I mean, it's whatever. It's cool to see her back. She has an aura to her, so it's good to see her back. But in 2 to 3 months, people are going to be saying she sucks, just like they did with AJ Lee. But I'm trying to think if there's any more thoughts I had on that match. Yeah, Nikki Bella was injured. A lot of people said Alexa's attire was the best that night. So, we had Becky Lynch versus AJ Lee. I don't understand why they bring back AJ Lee in September just to have her have like 5 matches or whatever against Becky Lynch. It, they could have easily done something else. They could have had AJ Lee versus Liv Morgan, AJ Lee versus anybody. They could have brought back Trish Stratus for a match, AJ Lee versus Tiffany Stratton. They could have done anything, but they did AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. And I just, had no interest in really seeing this match. It was a very short match, probably the worst match on the whole WrestleMania. Either that or Liv and Stephanie was the worst match. I'd probably say Liv and Stephanie was the worst match, but yeah, AJ Lee's obviously going to be going away for a while, so yeah, we'll probably see her. I assume she'll be gone for a while. That's the way she's talking. I assume we'll see her probably in like 6 to 9 months. Hell, maybe even fucking WrestleMania time, honestly. But yeah, so AJ Lee loses to Becky Lynch, which I was wrong on that prediction. If you go back and watch my prediction video, how many did I get wrong? I said Becky was going to win. That's one. And I said I got everything right, I believe, on that show except for Becky and AJ. So I went 6-1 on night one. But next I had Gunther and Seth Rollins. I'm not the biggest Gunther fan, but I think they're booking him to beat a lot of people, even though he's not really doing nothing after beating the people. But Gunther defeats Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker makes his return in this match, and he hits a spear. Dude, Braun Breaker's explosive, and I like Braun Breaker, but dude, you really should have jumped into Seth Rollins. Like he just barely tapped him, with that spear. And there was actually fans that recorded videos of them setting that spot up. They have got to do better at hiding that stuff. Like, come on, I know kayfabe's dead, but you got to protect the business to a certain extent. Gunther and Seth Rollins had a pretty good match, though. Might have been the best match on night one, honestly, but it was a good match. It went like, what, 15 minutes or something? Maybe 14, but Gunther wins. Seth Rollins had like these little blackout eyes when he came out, kind of similar to his WrestleMania 34 when he came out to those like aqua blue eyes or whatever it was. It was for the Aquaman movie, something like that. I still remember that in 2018. But yeah, Gunther defeats Seth Rollins. Who knows what he's going to do next? But then we have Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Valkyrie. Liv Morgan had like the most cringe fucking entrance. Like, what was that shit? Like a fucking talent show type shit. I don't want to see that shit on my television. Remember back in the day, WrestleMania 17, Motorhead, they performed Triple H's entrance, but he just heads straight to the ring. He's not sitting there jumping chair to chair, jumping on dudes, dancing, making music. Like, the fuck out of here, man. We don't want to see that shit. But as I predicted, Liv Morgan beat Stephanie Valkyrie. She had interference with Raquel and Roxanne Perez. It was a pretty bad garbage match, to be honest. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was just very short. But Stephanie Valkyrie loses the title. Yeah, I don't. I think it was very short, and they could have done a lot fucking better with it. Then to main event the show, they got Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, and the Pat McAfee shit that almost no one wanted to see. I thought it was kind of funny though. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit how he called the crowd fat asses and shit like that. I thought that was pretty funny. But I thought it was also cool how Ted DiBiase Jr. was in the crowd. He was really trying to look for attention, but it was hilarious. Like he was getting like he's literally been in the ring with both of them in the main event in a faction with Cody and Orton, and he's like creeping up towards the ring, getting really close, and security's kind of telling him, "Yo, chill out." Teddy, I was always a fan of Ted DiBiase Jr. I know a lot of people didn't like him, but he was one of the ones who was there when I really first started watching. Like I started watching in like 2006, but I became a hardcore fan in 2009. But yeah, so Cody Rhodes beats Randy Orton, and for a minute there, I really thought they were going to do a double turn. Like I really thought they were going to do a double turn because Cody was doing a lot of heelish things, like he was wiping Orton's blood on him, and he just had a demeanor to him, like a cadence to him, to where it really felt like he was going to turn heel, and they might have done a double turn like WrestleMania 13 with Austin and Bret Hart, but they didn't do that. Cody wins. Pat McAfee comes out. Cody wins. Randy Orton RKO's Pat McAfee, but then after the match, Randy Orton punts him and holds up the title that he didn't win. And I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say they're not going to follow up on this barely at all or do shit. I feel like it was just a way to, to like leave people questioning it like a cliffhanger, but they're not going to follow up or really do anything. Mark my fucking words, they're not. I'm just telling you now, just from experience, they're not going to do shit with that. But it was interesting to see him hit the punt kick. I don't remember the last time he hit the punt. I think he hit it at I know he hit it at Survivor Series 2013 against the Big Show. I know he hit it then, but I don't remember if he hit it after that. Did he hit it in 2020 on the Big Show? I can't remember. Or 2021? No, it's 2020. I don't know if he hit it then, but I know he hit it at Survivor Series 2013 on the Big Show. Okay, so yeah, it kind of sucked not to see Randy not win the title. I think a lot of people are getting tired of Cody at this point. He even got booed a little bit, and I almost thought that they piped in some of the woe because I didn't really see the audience say anything, but the woe was really loud. And speaking of the audience, this audience sucks. Second year in a row we've been in Vegas. This audience is dog shit. They really need to switch it up. I know we got Saudi next year. That's going to be trash. But this match went like 23 minutes or some shit. And, it closed out the show. It was very lackluster. The match was okay, but the ending was lackluster. I actually was a fan of Jelly Roll. I thought it was hilarious just seeing him on there. But it was pretty funny. Normally I wouldn't be a fan, but I think Jelly Roll does good for what it is in WWE. That was night one. I enjoyed the show. A lot of people hated it, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was way better than WrestleMania 41. Here we go with night two. It starts off with Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. Obafemi defeats Brock Lesnar. It was like a 4 minute and then 50-second match or something. It was really it was really quick, and Brock Lesnar hangs it up and retires at the end of the match. I actually was wrong on this one, so I went 6-1 on night one. On night two, I think I got two wrong. So I think I went like 4-2 or something on. Okay. So we'll figure that out. Obafemi defeats Brock. Brock Lesnar retires. Then I seen something about Paul Heyman talking to Gunther. I'm going to tell you right now. I remember at WrestleMania 33 when Undertaker hung it up and then came back the next year, 2018. I don't think that was Brock's last match. I really don't. It just didn't feel like it. Even though he, so-called retired or whatever, I just don't think that was his last match. I think he is going to have one more match against Gunther, probably at SummerSlam, because Brock Lesnar is known to be Mr. SummerSlam because he won his first world title at SummerSlam, and it seemed like for 10 years fucking straight he was in the main event of SummerSlam. But Brock Lesnar loses. He puts over Obafemi, and Obafemi was really over though. I can't lie. Like I know I said he has no charisma or whatever in my last video. I don't know. We'll have to see if I'm wrong. But Obafemi does beat Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman cries. Even Lesnar cried. I thought that was kind of weird to see Brock Lesnar cry. You just never thought you'd see that. But yeah, so Oba defeats Brock. I thought it was pretty entertaining for the 4 minutes 50 seconds that it went. Then we had a ladder match. It was Penta versus Javon Evans versus Dragon Lee versus JD McDonough versus Rusev versus Rey Mysterio. And this match really pissed me off because they cut the fucking entrances. They could have at least given Rusev an entrance. They didn't give Dragon Lee an entrance. They didn't give Rusev an entrance. They didn't give JD McDonough an entrance. So Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, and who was it? Rey Mysterio, Javon Evans, and Penta got an entrance. So half of them didn't get an entrance. That might have been my favorite match on the whole WrestleMania card. Honestly, I'm a huge, huge, huge mark for ladder matches, and it's felt like it's been forever since we've seen a good ladder match at WrestleMania. There was a cool spot with Rey Mysterio where he hit a West Coast pop over the top rope, went through the ladder. That was dope. I really, for a second, thought Javon Evans was going to win, but I actually got the prediction right because I predicted Penta to win. and I'm glad I did get that right. So I was 1-1 by this point. Very good match. Penta wins. I really thought for a second they were going to swerve us and have Javon win, but Penta did win the match, and I think that was the right call. Very, very fun match. Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. He came out with Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty he did not really get a reaction at all. I think it was very unnecessary for Lil Yachty to come out. But I think it was cool that they put the title back on Trick. I'm tired of seeing Sami Zayn. I think many people are, and Sami Zayn got booed, like almost booed out of the damn building. Sami Zayn did in this match, but not a Sami Zayn fan. Like, I mean, there's been times where I thought he was okay, but really the only time I thought Sami Zayn was okay, there was like a couple times when he was a heel that I thought he was okay, but whatever. Trick Williams wins the U.S. title from Sami Zayn. I think that was the right call, and that was like what, a 7-minute match, but yeah, Trick Williams wins. It was a pretty decent match for what it was. It might have been the worst match on night two, probably, most likely. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was the worst match on night two. Then we had. I actually kind of marked out for this. Not gonna lie, we had the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio in a, what was it, a street fight, I believe. Yeah, it was a street fight. It almost felt like 2016 all over again because I'm not the biggest Finn Balor guy. He's okay, but the Demon Finn Balor I am a fan of. I'll tell you the only times I like him when he's the Demon, and I was a fan of Finn Balor on, it was the build up towards Money in the Bank and SummerSlam 2023 whenever he was like on Seth Rollins' ass, like beating the shit out of him every week. I was a fan of him then in 2023. But this was our first time seeing the Demon since WrestleMania 39 in 2023 against Edge in a Hell in a Cell. And it's kind of crazy Edge didn't put Finn Balor over since he was on his way out. He left in August of 23 after that match against Sheamus in Toronto. But I actually kind of marked out. It felt like 2016 all over again when the Demon came out. I miss playing WWE 2K16 and playing as the Demon, Finn Balor. But it was a pretty fun match. Finn Balor wins by hitting a coup de grace through the table on Dominic Mysterio, and Finn Balor had a hell of an entrance. I really enjoyed this match. It was a pretty good match. It was only like 13 minutes, but it was a good match, or more like 10 minutes, whatever it was. I don't know what it was, but it was fun. Next up, we had Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. I was wrong on this prediction. I think so. Yeah, on night one, I went 6-1 on predictions. And on night two, I went 4-2 on predictions. So we had Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill. I predicted Jade Cargill to win, because I said Rhea Ripley kind of looks like she's dealing with issues. She's lost a lot of weight, things like that. But Rhea Ripley did win. She won by Riptide. A B-Fab and Meechin interfered in the match, but Jade Cargill still didn't get the job done. I will say this was definitely the best match of Jade Cargill's career, at least in WWE. It was a good match. It wasn't the greatest match of all time. They went like 10 minutes, but it was a good match. Solid match, especially for Jade. I wanted Jade to win this match, honestly, but Rhea did win, and it's cool. I guess I don't know what direction they're gonna go. I don't. That just shows that they don't really have a direction for the women right now, because I know that the fact that they threw it on Rhea just shows they don't really have a direction, because there was really no purpose for her to win. It was for the WWE Women's title, and Liv and Stephanie was for the Women's World Heavyweight title. But yeah, Rhea came out. She had a cool look to her tonight, but it's whatever. We'll see where they go with it. But yeah, Jade Cargill loses the women's WWE Women's title to Rhea Ripley. And final match of the night, main event, and this might have been the best match on WrestleMania, but my favorite was personally the ladder match. But this was a good match, and CM Punk probably came out in the best shape of his career. CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, one-on-one match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Main event of WrestleMania. You've seen Daniel Cormier in the crowd. We've seen George Kittle, Rob Gronkowski. We've seen quite a few celebrities. Stephen A. yesterday. He got booed out of the building. But I feel like I was missing someone. Rick Rubin. Rick Rubin also. He was chilling with CM Punk earlier. But Roman Reigns defeats CM Punk. I did get this prediction right, and it was a great match. It really did live up to the hype. I think he got about the best match he could get out of CM Punk. And it was a fun match. There was a spot where CM Punk done a flying elbow off the turnbuckle through the announce table, and that kind of reminded me of 2013 when he did that same spot to Undertaker at WrestleMania 29. But they went Roman and Punk went 33 minutes, I believe, and it was a good match, man. I'm not gonna lie. And Roman Reigns brought back his head of the table theme song. I'm a fan of the OTC theme song, but it kind of feels like too much. You know what I'm saying? Almost like aura farming. So I'm glad they brought back the head of the table theme, and it was pretty much a giveaway he was winning once he brought that theme out. For a second, I had a feeling that they would have brought back This Fire Burns for CM Punk because of how long they took to hit the music, almost like they were aura farming for it. But it's a very niche, song. So I'm one of the few wrestling fans who might want to see it. The marks want to see it, but the casuals don't really care. But it was a great match. Roman Reigns wins with a spear, and yeah, it was a very bloody match. It was pretty good, honestly. I really enjoyed it. It'll be interesting to see where they go with Roman Reigns in this direction. I'm interested to see it because he's never been world heavyweight champion, but now he is. It'll also be interesting to see where they go with CM Punk, considering that his wife has taken time off. But yeah, I went 4-2 on night two, and I went 6-1 on night one. So I only got 3 matches out of 13. So I got 10. I predicted 10 matches correctly, and I got 3 matches wrong on WrestleMania 42. Overall, I'd probably give this WrestleMania. I'm feeling between a 7 and 8 out of 10. Somewhere between there. I ain't really decided, but it was a good WrestleMania. I enjoyed it. Way better than 41. And normally I'm somebody who's very critical of WWE, but I really did enjoy this match. I thought they did good on this pay per view. There was a segment yesterday with Bianca Belair announcing her pregnancy with John Cena. It kind of felt a little bit unnecessary, and I'm a father myself, so even I'm saying it kind of felt unnecessary. But and then they had a segment tonight with Danhausen. It was John Cena announcing the attendance. Danhausen, The Miz, and Kit Wilson. And I'm a fan of Pretty Deadly. I wonder when Elton Prince is going to come back. They kind of remind me of Billy and Chuck, honestly, from back in the day. But I just think it's hilarious. They're hilarious. But Danhausen, he seemed okay. It was a little bit of a pointless segment, almost felt like a time killer. But dude, they have got to do something about these ads. It almost feels like WWE is selling a bag of air with all these ads. Like, let's sell WrestleMania, but have 90% of it be ads. And I'm going to be straight up, I did not pay for this show, like, at all. Like, I did not pay for this show. I streamed it, but I paid for last year's show. I paid for the year before that. I paid every year. This is the first year I did not pay for WrestleMania. I watched it on stream, but great quality, and I got to see it all perfectly, perfect timing. But it was a good WrestleMania, low key. It's just not worth $30. I don't think any show is worth $30 in my opinion. But either way, I still got to see it in perfect quality and everything, and it was a great show. I loved it. WrestleMania 42 was good. I'm looking forward to Raw. I really hope they capitalize on the momentum of this show. We'll see what they do. I'm trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to cover for it. That ladder match was a classic, though. I'll definitely go back and watch that again one day. But way better than WrestleMania 41. They almost acted like Roman and Punk didn't face last year in a triple threat, but it was the first time ever one on one, and it was in the main event of WrestleMania, and it was actually CM Punk's first ever one on one main event. And this year he main evented night two. Last year he main evented night one, so this was a true main event. But he lost. But yeah, it was a good WrestleMania, y'all. I can't lie. I know a lot of people are gonna shit on it. I shit on last year's WrestleMania. I have a video. It was before WrestleMania 41, but where I shit on the card. I said the build was terrible. This year the build was pretty terrible, but I think that the show delivered for the most part. I'm honestly pretty shocked. Pretty shocked. And I'm gonna be busting out more videos, guys. I really appreciate anyone who took the time to sit through this whole video. We're here at 24 minutes now. So, yeah, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. But, yeah, for a total of 13 matches on WrestleMania, I went 10-3. I went 10-3 if you want to go check my prediction video out for the proof. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. And turn on the notifications, like button, leave a comment. I'll respond. But yeah, guys, great show, great WrestleMania in my opinion. I don't know if I'd say great, but it was a good WrestleMania. I really enjoyed the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate you. Hope you guys enjoyed WrestleMania tonight. Peace out, guys.